Hey, what's up YouTube? Alright, so I'm headed into Scheels. I am going to adjust my second and third axis on my new sight. This is the AXCEL ACCUTOUCH Carbon Pro, and I want to go through this sight. I've got a bunch of questions on this thing, so I want to go through this sight and show you guys what it's all about. Yeah, anyway, we're headed upstairs. This sight I've got a ton of questions from you guys about, and I wanted to just show you how it sets up, how to do the second and third axis leveling, and just how it bolts onto the bow and how it looks. So anyway, I'll kind of run you through some of the features, but first I'm just going to give you a look at it. Alright, so to start with, in order to level a second and third axis on this sight, basically you want to bolt your sight housing up to, this is just a sight level, so this is to level out the second and third axis on pretty much any bow sight. You can do this on the bow if you have like a clamp or something to hold your bow and a little smaller level to level out your riser. But otherwise this makes it really easy to just have a tool like this. Basically we're going to bolt up the dovetail mount right to this little level. Got him. So now basically this plate is acting like the riser of the bow, if you will. So this is basically the riser of your bow. So what you're going to do, bolt your sight up to this on your dovetail, where you would have it on your bow. So I like to shoot with this sight all the way in till about the middle of the AXCEL. So there's a little mark right there, right above the E on the AXCEL. That's just where I like to shoot with this housing with a 3/16 peep. It just makes a really good halo. So I bolt mine into the little line where the E on the AXCEL is. Crank that down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to level this plate, and it's pretty dang level itself actually. But first we need to take a secondary bubble level and put it right on the top of the sight rail. There's a flat portion right here on top of the sight rail. So I like to put it on top of this. You can put it on top of your rail here. I'm just going to set it up here. It's a little easier to work with. So just like that. Now I'm going to level this sight up and down using this knob. When did you say you're going out for antelope again? Yeah, you are. We should probably like link up while we're out there, because I leave the 23rd Friday. 45 good. Alright, so I've got the top of the sight leveled. That's basically just telling me that my sight rail is level up and down. Now I'm going to level this plate out. Right here I've got the plate leveled. That would act like the riser going left to right. And then I've got the top of the sight leveled. And that's going to act like the sight looking up or down while it's bolted to the riser. So basically this is set up like it's in my bow and leveled out like the bow is leveled out. Now I'm going to check my bubble on my sight housing. Make sure that's level. See, we're off a little bit there. So now I'm going to adjust my second axis to get that bubble to move from there back into the center. Alright, so basically right here on top is your second axis adjustment, and here down below is your third axis adjustment right there. Now before I set those, and actually before I level this side out, I wanted to show you guys. So right here on this sight,
so you guys do mostly upward?
This rail right here can actually be moved left to right for more exaggerated adjustment. So I always like to center that directly with the side of the rail. It might sound complicated, it's really not, but I like to center this whole housing with the rail itself. before I start doing any of my adjustments on the actual micro second and third axis leveling. So, second, third axis, and that is basically just going to take loosening that bolt right there and that bolt right there and leveling this housing out just a hair. I don't need to go a whole lot. You can see my bubble's pretty dang close, so we're just going to give it a little bit of movement. So I've got the sight level where I want it, I've got the base level where I want it, and the top level where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and cinch it down. Call that good for the second axis.
That's the cool thing about these smaller ones. One lasted like 6 months.
Show you what I'm talking about. So you see the bubble? That bubble right there is all leveled out now. So now my second axis is on. Now we'll go to the third axis. I'll show you how to do that. Alright, so now we're going to check the third axis on this sight. And by doing that, basically you're checking to see how this is going to, your sight housing is going to be this way. So what that's going to be is basically when you're taking an angled shot, if you're angled up or angled down, you really want to make sure that your third axis is on, because otherwise things could be kind of out of whack. I actually like to do this, the final adjustment of this on my bow at full draw. The reason I like to do that is it takes your hand torque into play. This thing doesn't obviously represent any hand torque, so it gets it really, really close as a baseline, and then I like to check my third axis at full draw, pointing up like this. And there's a couple other videos online that can kind of show you how to do that, and a bunch of write-ups. So if you want to look into it, just look up how to adjust third axis at full draw, and you can find some videos and content on that. But basically I'm going to get it really, really close with this thing. So anyway, to do that, loosen this knob, adjust your sight straight up at an angle, make sure your base is still leveled out. And actually, look at that. This thing, so my base is leveled up, sight's at an angle, and the housing is perfectly level. So I am not actually going to do any adjustment to this third axis on this sight because it's already pretty much dead nuts. So I might check it again, like I said, at full draw, just with a little bit of hand torque. But anyway, either way, I'll show you where the adjustment screws are on this sight in order to adjust it if you had to. These bolts right here are your third axis level. So if you loosen those bolts, you can actually pivot this sight housing right here like this. And that will adjust your third axis. So same thing, just loosen those and adjust it until your bubble is level when your housing is pointed upwards. Anyway, that is pretty much it for adjusting your second and third axis on the AXCEL ACCUTOUCH Carbon Pro. Now I want to show you guys a little bit just about the sight, how it functions, and why I really like it. Alright, so this sight, obviously I don't have this thing sighted in at all, but I want to show you a couple of things that I really like, a couple of features on it. One is it has this adjustable hood that you can adjust your brightness for your pins. So basically you can slide this down or slide it up, and that just allows more or less light to hit these top fiber optic pins. Works really, really well. So also this sight has a ton of micro adjustment. So as you can see right here on the side of the rail, it's got a micro adjustment windage, and how to adjust that, you literally just you push this little pin over, you can hear it click, and then you've got all the micro adjustment in the world. And you also have hash marks on the top of the rail to make those adjustments really, really fine-tuned. When you're done, slide that pin back in and it's locked. It's not going anywhere. So with your elevation adjustment, this thing has a lockdown pin. You can unlock it there, lock it. It's just a tension lock that's fully adjustable. So you can unlock this, and then you've got your elevation up and down. And if you see these little blocks right here, these blocks are little ball bearing stops. What those are for, that's basically the AccutOUCH portion of this sight, kind of why it's named that way. You can adjust these blocks all the way up and down, and this little ball bearing system right here, this little pointer, this little ball bearing system will hit those indents and stop the sight momentarily while you're rolling through your sight, housing. So see, it stops in the groove, keep rolling, it stops in the groove, keep rolling, or you can just blow right past them. I shoot this with a 3-pin housing. So my 20, 30, and 40, and then that 40-yard pin is gonna be my slider adjustment. So over here on the rail, all the way up to the top, it'll be set at 40 yards at the top, and then I've got to slide all the way down to, this bow should be able to get about 110, 120 yards out of the sight rail. So once I get that set and I figure out where my 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100 are, that is when I will adjust the AccutOUCH blocks to stop at basically 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. So you've got a bunch of blocks right here to play with. So anyway, just a couple things about this sight that I really like. It's got a ton of adjustment up and down. You've got a bunch of adjustment on your pointers. You've got as well as a micro adjustment, obviously, for your third axis. And yeah, it's just got a lot of really cool things going for it. Well guys, that's it for this video. I hope that gave you a little bit of insight on the AXCEL ACCUTOUCH Carbon Pro. I know I've got a lot of questions on it, so maybe that cleared some things up. But yeah, just an awesome sight. I've been absolutely loving it. I've been shooting this thing since about January or February of this year, and I would never look back. This sight has been amazing. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, remember to smash that subscribe button, give this video a like, and yeah, oh, if you like any of the merch that I'm wearing, hats, t-shirts, stuff like that, you can get it on whitetailfit.com. And yeah, there's hats, t-shirts, hoodies, decals, stuff like that up there. Really helps support the brand, and I really appreciate it. Thanks guys, we'll catch you next time. Peace.